First at 4, a Supreme Court surprise. The highest court in the land rules in favor of gay rights, what the decision means, and the connection to a local trans woman coming up. Southfield police defend themselves against a woman's claim she lost her unborn baby because officers tased her. Police have released some new video. You'll see that too. Paula. Or let's try Ben.
We have got one more picture-perfect day, Devin, before the heat starts to rise. ACs are going to be cranked this weekend. We'll look at how hot those numbers get right now. First at 4.
Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Devin Skillian in for Karen Drew. First at 4, a landmark ruling on gay rights that will change legal protections around the country. Given the court's conservative tilt in recent years, the ruling has taken a lot of court observers by surprise, but the court voted 6-3 that gay, lesbian, and transgender people are protected from discrimination in employment. It found that Title VII provision of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 does offer that protection, a question that has been hotly debated. Justice Neil Gorsuch, appointed by President Trump, wrote the majority opinion. The ruling comes with a legal connection here. Let's get to Sandra Ali, who's in the newsroom for that part of the story. Sandra.
Well, you know what, Devin, one of the cases decided today started right here in Metro Detroit. And sadly, the plaintiff didn't live to see this victory, but her battle will now impact so many lives. You may remember the story of Amy Stevens. She lost her job at a local funeral home. This was after she revealed to her boss that she would be living her life as a woman. She told him she'd wear the same conservative skirt or suit that other female employees wore, but she was fired anyway. Stevens died last month while waiting for that decision. Today, the highest court took her side. Equality Michigan releasing a statement today saying in part, and this is a quote, "There are still critical gaps in our federal non-discrimination laws and the laws of Michigan for LGBTQ people despite this ruling." For example, they point out it's still possible to discriminate against that community in restaurants, hotels, adoption agencies, and also public restrooms. We are still at this hour waiting to hear from the White House about the ruling. Coming up tonight, new at 5, we're going to hear from one of Amy Stevens' attorneys who was fighting this legal battle with her side by side. And, you know, Devin, it's really sad that Stevens didn't live to see this day, but what a way to really be remembered moving forward.
Yeah, so true. All right, Sandra, we'll see you again at 5 o'clock as well. A Novi man convicted of espionage in Russia was sentenced in Moscow today. The United States calling the trial a mockery of justice. Paul Whelan is the former Marine who was arrested in Moscow in December of 2018. Russia says he was caught red-handed with a computer flash drive containing classified information. Whelan's family has argued that he's been framed all along. Today, he was sentenced to 16 years in a Russian prison. Secretary of State Pompeo says he is outraged by the trial and at how Whelan has been treated thus far. Coming up at 5 o'clock, we will hear from Whelan's brother and where this fight heads next. It's been obviously a very long ordeal. He's been in bad shape health-wise in the jail that he's been kept in, one of the most notorious in Moscow. What happens now? We will see. Also following news today, let's see, let me follow my own script here. Goodbye, Christopher Columbus. The city of Detroit has removed a statue of the Italian explorer from his longtime pedestal. You may have seen the statue in the past at the corner of Jefferson and Randolph. Look at it today. It came down as the nation is experiencing a racial reckoning from coast-to-coast protests. The city had already stopped celebrating Columbus Day, marking Indigenous Peoples Day instead. Also coming up at 5 o'clock, we'll hear from Mayor Duggan on why the statue needed to come down now. Southfield's top cop is standing by his officers after a woman sues the department, arguing she lost her unborn child after being tased by police. The department released this dash cam video today of the incident from January 9th. Officers say they were called to a home by the family of 38-year-old Crystal White. They say she was acting erratically and trying to take a 6-year-old from the home. White has hired attorney Jeffrey Feiger. He says Southfield police used a taser on her despite knowing that she was pregnant. The chief of police denies that.
When you look at the narrative that was suggested, that we knowingly would tase a pregnant woman, that is appalling to me. It is also alarming to me that it was suggested that this police department would have treated her differently if she was a white woman from an affluent community. We responded because the family asked us to help.
Right now, the officers named in the lawsuit, though, remain on the job. Let's move to downtown Detroit. At this hour, some protesters starting to gather again near police headquarters. You're looking at live pictures. Not a massive crowd at this hour, but similar to what we've seen recently. The demonstrations have gotten a bit smaller since a few weeks ago, but activists still say they are pushing for changes here in Detroit in the wake of the death of George Floyd. So that's a live picture at this hour right there in front of DPD headquarters, about a block from where I'm standing. We will keep an eye on things here in Detroit as well. Earlier, activists from Detroit will breathe led a caravan outside the homes of several city council members. They gathered this afternoon on Cadieux, where they made signs and rode on their cars before taking off. They want city council to vote against expanding use of facial recognition technology and the surveillance of Detroit residents.
They still have two other programs to give DPD more money for more crime fighting that we object to, but the facial recognition is the thing that has proven most controversial and is part of our demands. It's part of our effort to defund DPD.
City Council is set to vote on that proposal tomorrow. Michigan's reopening has reached a big milestone for many people. Starting today, we once again get a proper haircut. During the pandemic, your hair may not have been the most important concern, but it was certainly one of those things that can make you feel quite a bit better. A lot of people feeling rather ragged and shaggy. This morning, our crew was on hand for some of the first customers at Hayes Barbershop in Sterling Heights. Barbershops, salons, nail salons, they have all stepped up health precautions dramatically.
We're spaced pretty good apart, so we're good. Everyone's wearing their face protection and hand protection, and we've all got alcohol and hand sanitizer at every station. We're just being extra diligent as far as wiping down the front door and things that clients touch more than we were before.
In Detroit, Police Chief James Craig, one of the first in line to get his hair cut. He applauded all small businesses for taking the lockdown orders as seriously as they have and helping protect the health of city residents. As more things return to normal, Detroit's mayor is putting an end to COVID-19 hazard pay for city employees. Mayor Duggan just announcing the policy change this afternoon, saying the city spent $8 million on extra pay for frontline workers like police and fire. Meantime, the state reported just 2 additional deaths over the past 24 hours. Too many, but certainly so many less than what we've seen, along with 74 new cases of the virus. Both of those daily numbers are the lowest we've seen in months, in fact. The state has also tracked nearly 45,000 recoveries. Also to report today, the FDA is revoking the emergency authorization for malaria drugs used to treat COVID, like hydroxychloroquine. President Trump, of course, championed the drug, even taking it himself for about 2 weeks. The FDA says they have concluded it does not work and could cause deadly side effects. Most families are just starting their summers, but they also, of course, have a watchful eye on what school districts are going to do this fall. In Fraser, about 30% of the district's parents say they are not comfortable sending their kids back for face-to-face learning. That's a third. Paula Tutman shows us the district is proposing a plan to accommodate concerned parents and meet the state mandates.
Charlotte, a rising 4th grader, and Joshua, a rising 10th grader, have been remote learning since a day before the governor shut down schools because of COVID-19. Now, they're lucky. Their school district, Fraser Public Schools in Macomb County, had pretty well-established remote learning protocols already in place.
I've always been impressed with their focus on online learning. That was there before the pandemic hit.
Now the district is announcing that it has been working within the guidelines of the Michigan Department of Education's remote learning model, putting in place specified rigors of learning, and come fall we'll be launching a virtual academy for those parents and students who just don't feel comfortable returning to face-to-face learning.
And as we start to think about the fall, we know there's a lot of unknowns, and I think the only thing we can control right now is the virtual option, and I think parents want to plan.
Superintendent Carrie Wozniak says by working within the MDE guidelines, it means the district won't have to go through lawmakers to get special dispensation to waive the 185 mandatory in-class days, so it means that all important per-pupil funding remains intact, the grades will count, and parents and students have viable options come fall.
For those families that choose the virtual virtual option, there will be opportunities to come in for assessments. We will be looking to provide some more direct instruction as far as a reading assessment or math assessments, MSTEP, things like that that students would have to take on campus.
Amanda, who also has 2 children in the district, is pretty comfortable with face-to-face learning if things stay the same as they are today or even get better in terms of virus progression.
I am, yes, in our household we are.
But both parents say time and the virus will call the final shot in about 3 months.
If there's an option to send them back in the beginning of September and I feel safe given the data that's out in the market, I will send my kids back to school because they need the structure, they need the socialization, they need what they've been missing for these past 3 months. But if there's still question marks that, you know, the virus is continuing to spread and they're not quite sure what the impacts are going to be, and, you know, then I might say, you know what, let's stay home a little bit longer and let's take the online option.
Yeah, so we might be talking about Fraser schools here, but Devin, really, parents need to pay attention to their school districts and their websites because this is really going to be more of a trend in the lay of the land because schools have to virtually give parents a place to go that's not changeable so that they can make plans. Lots to dive in on this one. We're going to be tackling issues all week long so parents know what they can expect come this fall.
So right, Paula. We think there's certain things you can count on as you go through the summer, and definitely not this year. We'll continue to follow more of it. All right, Paula, let's turn to the first forecast. Today's weather, pure Michigan perfection. Let's get to Ben's place. Ben, anybody that's complaining about today is just looking for something to complain about.
I think you're right, Devin. And I'll tell you, if we had to write a check for this weekend's weather, it would have had a lot of zeros in it because, as you said, this was as close to perfection as you can get this time of year, and it's going to continue for at least one more day, and then things are going to start to really heat up as we head towards the end of the week. Outside right now, gorgeous conditions, nearly crystal clear skies, temperatures low to mid 70s, and we do have an east wind, which is keeping things on the dry and cool side. Over the next 7, that heat and humidity really comes back on Thursday and Friday, but tomorrow and Wednesday, not too bad. We'll check those out. And not a lot of thunderstorms in the forecast, but it does look like we may see a few of those on Father's Day Sunday. So we'll look at more of your weekend forecast in just a minute. Devin.
Ready at Father's Day almost. All right, Ben. Still ahead, the future of the UAW is on the line. Later this month, we'll talk about it, the next step in the massive corruption cleanup coming up in a moment. Also, dialing down the outrage in Atlanta. The widow of a man killed during a confrontation with police has a new request for protesters there. And later, did he or didn't he? Social media buzzing about SpongeBob SquarePants and a tweet about gay pride. Stick around for trending stories coming up on First at 4.